Alright, welcome back to Lenz Comic Corner Classic Us Non-Classics. This is episode number 3177, double number 3071. Two trades from Top Cow here. First up we have is Witchblade Rebirth Volume 1. This is sort of a semi-reboot of the Witchblade book, and this app basically only has trades to collect the last 35 issues for this book. It is really weird with this app where they have the trades. They had those three complete books, which had the first 57 issues. Then they have the last 35 of this book, and then they have the entirety of the second volume for the book and the first two collections from the current volume, and that's it. I'm like, really? There are other trades out there, but nope, they just choose not to put them on here. I do not know the reason for this. Probably because they're not in the area, so that's probably the reason for that. So this book contains issues 151 through 155. And I bring this up a few times before. These issues came out as part of a 9-month publication streak. I looked this up because this was the only time ever in the history of this book that you actually had 9 issues come out in a row. Because the most I had published in a row, 3, 4, and then take a month or 2 off. But I guess Top Cow must be getting more into publishing more on time. We have Tim Seeley on the writing duties of this book and Diego Bernard on the artwork. So, yeah, Reborn. We have this 5-part story called Unbalanced. And that's it. So mostly we just basically show off the character associated with these other people per se. It's like the other artifacts. And by the way, is the Darkness Robin here? Yeah, he's actually in the book. So that was just a prologue for that book, and then we have the whole Rebirth where Sarah's no longer a police officer, but still has the Witchblade, and she still does supernatural stuff, and then she, of course, investigates. I think she's sort of like a PI now. Yeah, she's a PI. Yep, PI. Yep, and she's investigating people. It's more like this book show off at least got praised. The artwork is gorgeous. This book is amazing. But this book also has this weird thing going on. We have this new man-made artifact where it's not super. It's like this weird thing. It's like these tentacles, and the Witchblade has to fight it. It's like. And supposedly, even though she fought someone, of course, she turns old. And of course, I think they killed her. This fact she didn't. Yep. And then she's wearing a different outfit. Yeah. Yep, and she got bailed out because she did technically nothing wrong. She was just defending herself against some creature. And then she's picked up by Kane. He's like, oh, nice, 57 sniper. My name is Picard Marcos like this. Look, I didn't meet up with a woman. I know. And I didn't ditch you because I found something better. Sure. Yeah, and they chat for a bit. And then they kind of ooh, let's just take off. Let's basically have sex. But then, apparently, it's like, he wants to do more. Then she's like, nope. Yeah, and I'm like, yeah, she just rejects him. And then apparently she's like, by the way, where's her daughter? It makes no sense. Yeah, by the way, Sarah had a baby. And she's back here as Witchblade. I think at some point that Danielle Baptiste, she lost the role of then we have this woman here, the host Witchblade. At one point there was 2 Witchblades, and now there's just one now. Then we have this one wearing his leather jacket and wearing this outfit here. And then we have Sarah fighting. Then we have this woman fighting more of these monster things. We also have these journals put in here for some reason. This probably was Tim Seeley's idea. Oh, excuse me. Yep. And fights these creatures off. Then Sarah comes in, punches her. Yeah, it's like this weird alternate stuff here. It's on a ransack her apartment. Yeah, and someone basically put a boot on her car. Think, oh yeah, but a boot gives a parking ticket. Like, except I don't have a parking ticket. And then she proceeds to, well, remove the boot. And then she used a Witchblade to remove the boot from her car. It's like, nope. It's like, boot's on. Yeah. And this woman, Jane, basically is hacking her for no reason. And by the way, there's no darkness in here. And of course, yeah, then we have more women here. It's kind of really weird, this book. Under Tim Seeley. It's like a bunch of tentacle stuff here. Then Jane ends up working with her to stop these creatures. And we see more sexy ladies come in who are very goth girls, where they take off their jackets. It's like, well, a couple of them go butt naked. And then the Magadonna shows up complete randomly. Yes, the Magadonna. Yes. She shows up here, and then we have more. Apparently the way it's explained here is that this weird, gross tentacle stuff is growing because of this water people were drinking. And then she contacts Jackie. Yep, but he does pick up. Probably because they're not speaking to each other. So yeah. I leave off here where more stuff with Biker, and of course the Magdonna basically helps out Sarah. Sarah's new look for the Witchblade is weird. It's like, yeah, it's now consuming her face and a motorcycle. That's really cool. Fights out these other people here. Yep, and then of course like more stuff going on here. And that's it. It's a pretty good start for this new era for Witchblade. I'm gonna give the book roughly a 9 out of 10. Next up we have is, and this is kind of weird though. Now this is a compendium book. I couldn't do this for Spawn for some reason, but the Darkness, no problem. We have the Darkness Compendium Volume 2. And this book contains the entire second volume for Darkness, which was 24 issues, the entire third volume, which is 10 issues, and the Darkness 75 to 89, which they published these issues according to the latest numbering. These are issues 41 to 89 for the Darkness. Yeah, basically, first you have Darkness Resurrection, that's 40 and 46. That's basically the first 6 issues of Volume 3. They have Demon Inside, 47-56, is of course the latest number. Depths of Hell, 57-64. Empire, 65 to 70. Sovereign, 71-88. I think that's it. Is it 88? It's 89 here. I think 89 must be a standalone issue. Plus, they have the High Noon one-shot. And so a lot of these issues is basically Jackie dealing with all the darkness stuff. At one point in the book, he is like temporarily captured. He's kidnapped by these other people, and he eventually convinces this guy to give his immortality to free him from whatever he's in. I at least gotta handle these. I at least gotta praise issues for this. These issues feel like more cohesive. At least it's not like Jackie having sex with random women. A lot of the issues, like the original first 40 were. This book basically, in case you're wondering, though, there's no Witchblade. She's not here. The Angelas that show a little bit later in the book for these issues. The Malik Dawn doesn't do really anything at all in these issues. Yeah, and he does have some girls, but it's not like complete random girls. The one-shots are just basically just other one-shots he just happen to have. Now, those would be curious, why did the third volume initially stop at 10 issues and become 75? Because Top Cow must have realized, though, that what would have been the 11th issue for the third volume would have been issue 75, so that's the reason why they decided to do that. And like the complete Darkness books, they put the credits for the issues in the back of the book for some reason. Don't know why. Oh, and so these issues here, I can find it here. Here we go. So Volume 2 started publishing 1 year and 3 months after the conclusion of the first volume, which started from December 2002, concluded in November 2005, and then Volume 3 started 2 years later. Yes, 2 years later, where it lasted from December 2007 through January 2009, and then we resume in February of 2009 from that point forward for these issues. I think it ends like 2010. Yes. And unlike in the case of Savage Dragon with its nudity, this book, no nudity. It's just a lot of violence, but not over-the-top violence per se. At least I got praise book for this. Jackie is the main character. And of course fighting other demons here. That's kind of what happens over the course of these issues. The Angelus herself doesn't show up toward the end of like Volume 3. After she was absent for a long time. By the way, there's like 1,284 pages in this compendium. Yes. So, after issue 89, which by the way looks like basically Daniel Kuna's artwork, this is where like the Flash picks up with him. Yeah. And then after 89, then we have our first one-shot known as Ludbrok's Hand. This was released in December 2008, which means it was published during the course of these issues. And this book here, it's just another... It's pretty much basically just a past story related to the Darkness in like... Looks like kind of barbarian style times. Fighting a dragon. Really cool book. Also love the artwork too. Feels like a fantasy book for this one. And that's not the only one-shot publishing here. Excuse me. I also have Shadow and Flame. Shadow and Flame was published in January of 2010. Yep. That's when it was published. I took the Company Infinity book. I think it was collected in one of the Compendium book. They collected in the first, second book, I think it was. Let's see. Yeah, and the Shadow and Flame one shot. This is basically like, this is set 1887. Basically, it's like the U.S. About a decade after Jack the Ripper. It's basically a 19th century Victorian era story with the Darkness. It's just a host from Darkness past. And then we have Butcher. Yes, Butcher. That's another one shot. Butcher was published in... This will do with modern day. This is a Darkness Butcher. It is basically about the Darkness's best friend, who's known as the Butcher. Named Butcher Joyce. Yeah, there's one shot's all about him. Yeah. Yeah, but not really much else to say about it. Just basically like all about focus on him. Like, is this the last one shot here? After a story about him, that's pretty much it for the one shots in here. So, who's the creative team of these books? Because for some reason they keep putting the back for some weird reason. Don't know why. After going through all these covers, do they finally list basically like all the... Okay, so for issue 41 through... Let's see. It's mostly put Paul Jenkins doing the writing here. With Daniel Cohn does the 41, 44. Let's see. Paul Jenkins does do issue 49. Technically the ninth issue of the second volume for the book. Daniel Cohn does issue 45, 46. 47 is basically Eric Bala and Mike Cho. Roman Banzer does issue 48. 50 is done by Ron Martz and Martin Medell. Though these two basically with the creative of the book from issues 50 through 53. 54 is written by Frank Terry, artwork by J.J. Kirby. Frank Terry would do the book from 55, 56 with Martin Medell with the artwork for those two. And in 57, David Lapham takes over the writing duties, does 57 through 60. With Brian Durham on the artwork for issues 57, 59. 60 is done by John Lucas and William Whedon. 61 is Brian Buccellato and Francis Mapple on the artwork, which is awesome. David Warhol is doing the writing for 62, 63, 64, with Martin Mandel on the artwork. And then we have 65 through 68 is Phil Holster on the writing duties. And Michael Brosford does the artwork with Dan Cohen on issue 67. For 69 and 72 is still Phil Holster. And Michael Brosford does issue 70. And then Jorge Lucas does 71, 72. up until 74. 75 of the book. Oh boy. So we have Phil Holster on the writing duty with these artists on the issue. Mike Timpson does issues pages 134. 26 is Joe Bennis. Michael Brasa does 7 through 8. 12 15, 37, 35, 37. Lee Carter does 9 through 11. Jorge Lucas does 6, 17, and 20. Mark Shestry and Steve Furcho does 18 and 19. Fraser Irving does 21, 22, 23, 27. Dale Cohen. Ryan Shook does 23, 27. 20, 20, page 28, 22. That's right, so 33 is Staja Sajic. 2 through 6 is actually that sinks. 50, 76 is done by Phil Holster still writing with Michael Barson the artwork. Michael does issue 77. Phil Holster does the artwork for issue 80. Jorge Lucas does basically 79. Nelson Blake does issue number 78. 81 is basically Phil Holster still the artwork duty. Him's doing the writing here. Let's see. He does the writing here up until issue 88. We have Michael Bosser back in the artwork here for 2 issues, 82, 83. With Walter Pacino does issue number 84. 85, 86, 87, 88, all Phil Holster. With Shannon Mitchell doing those 4 issues. 89 is written by Joshua Hale Thunkoff, aka the writer of I, Vampire, with Matt Timpson on the artwork. Phil Holster is back for the Low Brooks Hand one-shot with Michael Alvin opening. By the way, last issue 89 was January 2011. That was 14 years ago. Yes. Shadows of Flame, written by Rob Levin, Jorge Lewis on the artwork. And Butcher is Rob Levin and Michael Bossard. And that is it. So in case you're curious though, is there more trades for the Darkness? There is. Basically with this, I've gotten to issue 89. So there is 1, 2, 3, 4, excuse me, about 5 more trades left to go. Basically, Volume 3 was published in the trades known as The Accursed. And it was 7 volumes. This book here pretty much covered like pretty much all Volume 2, which is Resurrection Demon Inside Depths of Hell. Curse is basically those 10 issues plus issues 71 and 89. It's all Curse. It's basically the first 5 trades of that one. It's like they just combined like 8 trades into one trade paperback. Yeah, that's pretty much what they did. So I have a little bit to go for this one. Not much, but hopefully it shouldn't take very long. I hope not. It's basically like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 more trades left to go for Darkness. But overall, how many issues left to go at this point? Since I've kind of covered up to issue 89, there's exactly 27 issues left to go to review for the whole series. 27. And that's it. Yep. And that's going to be pretty much it for particular review. Please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, turn notifications. Next up is One Piece. And another Comic Corner. Okay, next video. Bye.